Guys, I'm getting set up for a video as we speak because I don't want to miss out. Don't want to miss out on the sunrise. It's pretty freaking awesome. Only thing that's missing is some clouds. We got the golden hue, if I can say hue. I'm a little weird that way. Golden hue, and maybe just some not a total silhouette. Maybe put some light on me, if that works. I didn't bring the thing that controls this. Well, actually I did. See how this looks if I brighten that up. This wanting me to sign something in Chinese. I don't know. It's like yes or no. See? I don't know what that means. They must have updated the terms and conditions, I guess. I'm assuming this top row is yes. How strange. Well, can you see me? If I move over this way, we can get the sun in there. That's pretty cool. Well, I'll move this a little closer. Just gotta light up my face a little bit so I'm not a complete. Well, if I'm a silhouette, that's okay, right? I thought this would light me up a little bit. Not so much. All right, I can brighten it up. There, you see me now? It's still. Anyway, I'm surprised that doesn't give me a little bit. It's okay. That's ridiculously bright, and yet it doesn't really do that much. Important thing is that sunrise behind us. It's like, what's my topic of discussion gonna be? It's like I woke up 3:45, maybe even 3:34. Didn't really get up until about 5 to head here to Vermilion Recreation Area. I'm really just gonna call it Vermilion Lake, and I just barely made it on time for the sunrise. As you can see, it's setting up right when it's happening. And you know what? I was kind of scrolling through YouTube last night a little bit, and I was listening to Kelly Moll. Is that her name? I don't think I'm saying her last name right. Some of her acoustic guitar playing is off the chart. So I started with that kind of tone and atmosphere. But then I got to listening to this other person. This is actually a gentleman. I don't know his name, actually. I don't know his YouTube channel. I don't even remember that. It's something like Frequencies and Light or something. And I'm not New Age or anything, but I'm willing to listen to someone if they have something really awesome to say. And it's kind of sad that it took this kind of a title. And I don't believe it was clickbait in this case. If it was, that's pretty bad. But he had just broken up, or his fiance broke up with him. Something's bothering me over here. I got cords. I don't go wireless. He experienced a breakup, and I thought the poor dude's heart was literally broken, for real. And he was talking about the growth that he's experiencing through the breakup. I'm still trying to get situated for video. You see in the sunrise back there. I thought it was a real heart-to-heart type of discussion. It really kind of moved me. And to be honest, he didn't say anything that I didn't already know in a sense, but I could never put words to it like he does. I'll put a link in the description box. I've had some desire to be more authentic and vulnerable like that, and I have made some videos in the past that made some attempt to do that. And though I may have fallen short, even that was part of the process, I think, of being authentic and vulnerable, saying this is about as far as I can go. And some of that is also some of this might be a little excuse, but I think it's true. You don't want to publicly put your ex, in a bad light. And not that I even really could, because she's an awesome person. And there's absolutely no doubt about that. But you know that if you're going through a breakup and there's relationship dynamics, there's your side of the story, and it may cast a light that's not so favorable upon yourself and the other person, right? So it's not just, guys, there's fog over there. That's pretty awesome, but you can't see it. Underneath the bridge over there, that's pretty cool. So they got the sun. It's already 3/4 of the way up, I think. And I didn't want to expose it for my face because I want to see the sun. In fact, even that's a little bit much. But I set it on auto ISO, not auto, but auto ISO. And I set it like down one stop of light, compensation, exposure compensation. But now I may need to adjust that even more. Let's see if I can do that. I don't know if I can adjust it on the fly. I can. Now it's 2 stops of light. In fact, we may want to go even less. We got fish. Guys, that's like 3 stops of light. I'm not sure how we got 1/60th here for shutter speed. I always try to do 1/50th. But anyway. We'll change what we can here. We got F16. I think I'm going to have to go away from ISO auto. And we're going to have to increase the shutter speed to make this work. I actually do have a filter I could have put in front of my camera to make this work a little better. But, well, that's pretty much it for the sunrise anyway. That's just going to blow out pretty much. Unless I change there. We changed the shutter speed, so maybe that'll work. Guys, I'm not a professional, as you can tell. Just kind of make the most of it as I go here, but I know enough to be dangerous. I do like that fog over there. That's pretty cool. We got fish over here taking a dive. Maybe we'll change the view to over here. Of course, it's way further away than you can probably actually see. And I'll have to totally change the shutter speed, everything. So that's the fog I'm talking about, but you can't really see it. If I move, maybe you can. Carrying my tripod and my light. That's pretty cool. I'll carry it a little bit further. Got fish over here. You see the fog back there? This isn't a telephoto lens. I was going more for the wide angle, but it's kind of cool to see the fog on the water. Way back there, I can probably zoom in a little more in post-production, digitally zoom. Anyway, if we're going back towards the sun, which I think we are, I'm gonna have to change it. Man, I'm really giving up. Exposure compensation. Really learning this camera now. We're gonna do the best we can to get some of this again. There's a fish here that keeps popping up. I'm trying to steady my other tripod. We're doing all this on the fly. There's a little fog on this water too. I think the tree made for a nice picture. There's a little fog, smoke on the water, as I probably would call it. And if we get the sun in line with that tree, maybe it'll kind of help block it. God, I am totally doing this off the cuff, as you can tell. All right, that's got to be the most unprofessional demonstration ever. Or not even a demonstration, but trying to show you what the scenery is like out here. Will still be on a tripod. Probably could have did all that in my iPhone, moved around. But yeah, I can see now there's smoke on the water. That's pretty cool. That is some scenery there, no doubt. In fact, we may want to move up. That's some dope scenery. Once again, the thing that's really missing though is some clouds to help disperse that light and give it some different colors with the clouds. That's what's missing, I think. All right, can you see me now? So I guess I'm tripping over here. Title of this video is What Part of Good Morning Don't You Understand? We're gonna go with that as a series. What part of Good Morning don't you understand? But really we're going to talk about, I guess, the dynamics involved with being vulnerable. I'm not going to break that down, actually. I think you all know inside what that feels like. And when you put yourself on the line and start sharing with the rest of the world, it feels like I'm more willing to do that. But yeah, it's fumbling more than what you've seen here on this video setup. Actually, it's just one fumble after the other is how I perceive it. But that's kind of what life is anyway. Put your best foot forward, you fall down, you get back up. So I've been divorced since 2017, if I was going to tell my story in any form, function, or fashion. I feel like I've only been in one real relationship since then, and that happened rather quickly to my surprise. And there's no talking negative about that particular relationship, or really any other for that matter. Maybe henceforth is my inability to be vulnerable, because most people will at least give a hint of something, but it's like, nope. Only I could really say is I kind of got dumped at the most, probably one of the more interesting times in history, let's put it that way. I don't really have any gripes about that. It was what it was. It helped me tremendously to have a relationship at that point in time. So if I was going to think in fatalistic terms, fatalism being like everything happens for a reason, which I weigh that carefully because I don't know if I actually agree with it, but then in practice and how it makes me feel, sometimes I do give way to that sort of philosophy. But you have to be careful with that, because you're trying to comfort someone when something negative happened in your life, and like, yeah, everything happens for a reason. And then you just become an asshole, pretty much. Or, I'm sure you can weigh your words better than that and have a little more nuance to what you're saying. I don't know if I fully embrace that philosophy, but certainly it's almost as if I do, in a way. I fought tooth and nail the divorce. No, I did sign. I didn't put up any fuss as far as signing, because I'm not, like, I don't want to use that word asshole too many times. So that I consider this a Christian channel, right? But that is some of the words that people understand. I didn't want to be one of those guys. So no, I just signed. It's not that I didn't resist, but I did sign. That's my best way of telling my story. We didn't even have different attorneys. We had the same attorney. I don't want to keep rehashing this story as if I'm not past it or beyond it, because I think I've grown to the point now where it's totally different where I'm at in my heart. I think one of the videos I was harping on the idea, almost railing against the idea that God was protecting you because I couldn't see your value. And I made it a matter of, no, we need to focus more on personal growth and not make excuses. But coming full circle, I can see there is value in some of those fatalistic viewpoints, but it's interesting how it comes full circle and that it's almost like a binary concept where they're opposing and they're conflicting, but yet they're both true. It could be rather confusing. I tried to tell her, I'm just a simple man, but she kind of laughed at that. It's like, no, you're not. And she didn't mean that as an insult. She meant it as a compliment, actually. How am I doing here for my exposure? So it's still not, if I'm facing the sun, it's not going to be exposed for my face, even with this light like right on me. Like this light is pretty bright. See, bright. It's like all the way up. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not. And like makes no difference, pretty much. And there's different Kelvin temperatures. I can go white. I can go 32, 100K. I think I could even do both, which would probably make it even brighter still. Like to have both of the lights turned up. I'm not sure how to do that right now. But the important thing is you can see my silhouette. And yeah, it's pretty bright. The sun and this light just glaring at me. But yeah, I think we had a little vulnerable discussion there. I went through my divorce. How many relationships? I'm gonna say one main relationship, but I can't really leave anybody out. I'm gonna say 2.5. Cause, yeah. But really, it feels like one major relationship. At least that one was fairly real. They all were real, actually. I might as well say kind of like 3, but I honestly can't say the third one that I'm referencing really counts. I mean, we grow through experience. I'm just checking out the waters. I don't know what kind of fish is out here, but yeah, it made a full jump out of the water. I mean, if you could almost, speaking of fish out of water, it's, when you're first divorced, you feel like a fish out of water, for sure. But I'm speaking like from a place where I've already kind of gone through it, not sure what value there is rehashing it. Maybe it's just I don't know if you want to call it jealousy. Jealousy in seeing people talk about stuff on YouTube in a way that's meaningful and fosters connection with other people. I'm kind of one of those people that could maybe do that, but it feels a little bit sketchy. Me trying to pull that vibe and feel off. But what I can say is God has always been there in my midst. I know that's really super cliche, and it is, but my encouragement to anyone going through relationship struggles, which at this point in time, it might be like almost everybody, and be glad it's not you if it's not. And don't take it for granted, for sure. The guy I was listening to last night pretty much said he messed up. I mean, he didn't pretty much say it. He said it in more explicit terms than that, if you know what I mean. He was so busy building his YouTube channel that just became his main focus. And everything else just kind of dried up based on his obsession with YouTube. I think we all get that kind of thing in life. We put all our efforts into the one obsessive goal that we have. I think that's a common thing that we can all relate to. Well, maybe not all, but a significant number of us. And it's ironic that the way things are set up, you almost have to be that way. It's like you're not gonna make it unless you are a very reliable employee. Whether you're self-employed or working for somebody else, it really does take a lot to make things work. I'm still fortunate enough to only have to work one job. I'm not sure how much longer that's gonna be the case. If you like my content, I don't want this to be an appeal for money, but you are certainly, if you feel anything within your heart, and I've never been this way, you can dig through a lot of my YouTube channels or my YouTube videos, and you'll never see me really giving too much of a hint in this direction. But yeah, I have a super thanks icon available if you want to buy me coffee at least, or whatever. $10. I've done it to other YouTube channels, other people that I've enjoyed listening to. Not often, but I have done it. Would be the real kicker out here is if I'd have brought my keyboard out here and played keyboard to the sunrise. And I did do that in a prior video. It's not too many videos ago. What I really would have liked in an instance like that is, again, more clouds to sort of disperse the light and give it that color, give it the color that it needs besides just a blobbing, just a bright sun. What I do like here, though, is we got the blue water, the fish are jumping, and the clouds, sorry, not the clouds, the fog. And I'm starting to feel the autumn temperature. Let's see what is the temperature out here. It's like 40 degrees. I'm surprised it's actually that cold. So pretty soon I'm gonna have to take in I'm not gonna take in all my plants off my balcony deck. I can't do that. They're gonna have to freeze. I might take in the geranium, the scented geranium, because that's actually, even though it doesn't look like much, it does smell pretty good. So I'm digressing all over the place, but I guess that's part of a YouTube rant. We've been talking about everything from failed relationships to the beauty of the scenery out here. I guess I could end on that note that life is beautiful. And I still won't end the video. I think I got other things to talk about. You know, one of the things I mentioned in a prior video is Psalm 15. I don't know what that has to do with this video, but I did mention that I was going to return to it, and I never did yet. So maybe I can get to reading that for you. And it would kind of seem, at least to fit, the fact that it has some nice scenery to pull from. Psalm 15, this is the NIV version. Psalm 15, a psalm of David. Lord, who may dwell in your sacred tent? Who may live on your holy mountain? We got ads here I have to get rid of. Let me start over. Lord, who may dwell in your sacred tent? Who may live on your holy mountain? The one whose walk is blameless, who does what is righteous. I knew enough to pause for that. Who speaks the truth from their heart, whose tongue utters no slander, who does no wrong to a neighbor and casts no slur on others, who despises a vile person, but honors those who fear the Lord. That confuses me because there's supposed to be like a pivot point, but it kind of not. Who despises a vile person, but honors those who fear the Lord, who keeps an oath even when it hurts, and does not change their mind, who lends money to the poor without interest, who does not accept a bribe against the innocent. Whoever does these things will never be shaken. Let me read that again, since now you may know a little more what it's about. Psalm 15, a psalm of David. Lord, who may dwell in your sacred tent, who may live on your holy mountain, the one whose walk is blameless, who does what is righteous, who speaks the truth from their heart, whose tongue utters no slander, who does no wrong to a neighbor, who casts no slur on others, who despises a vile person, but honors those who fear the Lord, who keeps an oath even when it hurts and does not change their mind, who lends money to the poor without interest, who does not accept a bribe against the innocent. Whoever does these things will never be shaken. Now I understand verse 4 a little bit better. He despises a vile person, but honors those who fear the Lord. Now I have the right cadence and pitch to my voice when I read that. I don't know why, that always confused me. But it wasn't confusing at all. It's just my mind was like tied up in some way of thinking that wouldn't let me understand. Okay. Speaking of which, I think that's a lot of the issue with relationships and failed relationship patterns is just how we think. I know that to be true, but of course we can't really force a change other than day by day living your life in such a way so that you can, I want to say engage in self-improvement, but I know there's a better avenue, but we're going to find it. We're going to find it. In fact, he's already found us. And it's by his grace that we can endeavor to live a life that's worthwhile and all that. Worthwhile seems like kind of a bad choice of words. You know, I'm human. I don't always have the right choice of words, and it might come across like I don't know what I'm talking about. But trust me, I've been through the mill to some extent, yet I've been preserved and probably spared a lot, actually. So I thank the Lord for that. But I want to encourage you to listen to the video of that one gentleman. I'm sure his perspective is quite different than mine, but I'm not threatened by that, because actually his language, though different than mine, is actually probably more adequate for maybe what I'm trying to describe. If you're going through relationship struggle and you feel you're encountering that fork in the road where it's either growth or be sucked in by depression, well, I'd encourage you to listen to people who can encourage you and uplift you, and to focus your eyes on some beautiful scenery and beautiful depictions of life. Speaking of which, there's poetry too, but I'd have to run to my car real quick to get the book. I'll read from that and then we'll end the video. So I changed the exposure again just a little bit. I know I'm probably more of a silhouette than anything, but hopefully that makes some of these colors come through, which is mainly just blue and orange probably. Yeah, let's put it on a different exposure compensation perhaps. I don't know. So this is from Mary Oliver, New York Times bestseller, Devotions, the selected poems of Mary Oliver. And you'll have to excuse me. It's kind of cold, and my nose is running a little bit. Have you ever tried to enter So let me read the title. Have you ever tried to enter the long black branches? Have you ever tried to enter the long black branches? So I'll begin reading. Have you ever tried to enter the long black branches of other lives? Try to imagine what the crisp fringes full of honey hanging from the branches of the young locust trees in early summer feel like. Do you think this world is let me just start completely over. I ruined all that. That's okay. Let's try this again. Have you ever tried to enter the long black branches of other lives? Try to imagine what the crisp fringes full of honey hanging from the branches of the young locust trees in early summer feel like. Do you think this world is only an entertainment for you? Never to enter the sea and notice how the water divides with perfect courtesy to let you in. Never to lie down on the grass as though you were the grass. Never to leap to the air as you open your wings over the dark acorn of your heart. No wonder we hear in your mournful voice the complaint that something is missing from your life. Who can open the door who does not reach for the latch? Who can travel the miles who does not put one foot in front of the other, all attentive to what presents itself continually? Who will behold the inner chamber who has not observed with admiration, even with rapture, the outer stone? Well, there is time left. Fields everywhere invite you into them. And who will care? Who will chide you if you wander away from wherever you are to look for your soul? Quickly then, get up. Put on your coat. Leave your desk. To put one's foot into the door of the grass, which is the mystery, which is death as well as life, and not be afraid. Yeah, to set one's foot in the door of death and be overcome with amazement. To sit down in front of the weeds and imagine God the 10-fingered sailing out of his house of straw, nodding this way and that way to the flowers of the present hour, to the song to the song falling out of the mockingbird's pink mouth, to the tiplets of the honeysuckle that have opened in the night, to sit down like a weed among weeds and rustle in the wind. Listen. Are you breathing just a little and calling it? Wow. Ha. Oops, she got me. Freaking Mary Oliver. Okay. Listen, are you breathing just a little and calling it a life? While the soul, after all, is only a window, and the opening of the window no more difficult than the wakening from a little sleep. Only last week I went out among the thorns and said to the wild roses, "Deny me not, but suffer my devotion." Then all afternoon I sat among them. Maybe I even hurled a curl or two of music, damp in rouged red, hurrying from their stubby buds, from their delicate, watery bodies. For how long will you continue to listen to those dark shouters, caution and prudence? Fall in, fall in. A woman standing in the weeds. A small boat flounders in the deep waves. And what's coming next is coming with its own heave and grace. Meanwhile, once in a while, I have chanced among the quick things upon the immutable. What more could one ask? And I would touch the faces of the daisies, and I would bow down to think about it. That was then, which hasn't ended yet. Now the sun begins to swing down under the peach light. I cross the fields and the dunes. I follow the ocean's edge. I climb, I backtrack, I float, I ramble my way home. Well, I think that about sums it up. There's definitely the warmth on my face from the sun. And it's not this. It's only LED light. So the warmth of the face, the warmth I feel on my face from the sun rising and the cool, crisp autumn air, and the emotion from having read this and opening up just a bit in front of the world on YouTube. Or really, it's only in front of a small audience, right? But it is potentially in front of the world, so you can do that too. You know, if you feel so inclined, I would encourage you to maybe start a channel or open up a little bit. I think that's the right way to go about doing things. I know everyone's situation is different, but it's only by doing such things, whatever your endeavor may be, if it's not YouTube, I don't know what it could be. Learning a new instrument, I don't know, a new musical instrument. You know, maybe it is time for a relationship, maybe. Maybe it's time to put that to rest for a while and give yourself time to heal. I don't know what your situation is. But God knows that you know, and He knows, so just sit for a moment. Like my last video, I almost thought about deleting it. It's like, no, we'll keep it. I sat there for over an hour and pretty much did nothing. And I think that just kind of prepared me mentally and emotionally for being in front of the camera and being comfortable in my own skin, so to speak. And it was, honestly, I should have felt more awkward, but I'm kind of one of those people. I decided years ago, I'm going to do my best. Instead of feeling awkward in a moment of silence, I'm literally going to embrace it and let the other person feel all the awkwardness. And I know that's kind of being a jerk about it. But instead of feeling awkward about the silence, let's just give her a moment, give ourselves a moment of silence, and then we'll end the video. And it's truly not silence because my mic, I don't have the stereo mic set up today, but we do have birds, traffic, and other things. All right, I think that's enough for the moment of silence. I'm not going to get too weird on you. Like, go on for another 20 minutes. I don't say anything. Yeah, thanks for watching. Do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I trust you got something out of this video. If you did, definitely Definitely do like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video like I just said. All right. Thank you. Guys, I need to always come back up. Usually I do. I need to get some coffee, get some gas in my car. I was not prepared for this. I did eat some food, which I didn't get actually too far away from this place, but I brought it home the other day. Some sausage and eggs, at least a sausage. It was from a local meat place around here. It's pretty good, but I didn't have enough time to really make my coffee and make it here on time. At least not the way I got up and the rate I was going. But anyway, that's more information that you really don't need right now. Anyway, thanks. That was my extra add-on bonus. So help me get a coffee. Thanks.